What is up, guys? My name is Asteroid and welcome back to the next episode of our Pokemon competitive guide. So guys, today we're going to be covering Milotic, thanks to Pokemon TCG Gamer. If you guys want your favorite Pokemon to be covered in this series, or just, any Pokemon in general, then let me know down below what Pokemon you guys want me to cover next, and I will definitely get on that. So, first off, before we actually get started, thank you guys for the support on this series. You guys have been really destroying these episodes with those likes and stuff, which has been incredible. And speaking of likes, if you guys want to see a second competitive guide this week over a very, very powerful Pokemon, then hit that button. Hit that button, I'd appreciate it. So, that being said, we're going to get started with the first Milotic set. So, you want to go max HP, max special defense, and 4 in defense. If you would like to kind of split up the EVs a bit and try and get, a bit more investment in defense, you can definitely do that. But in my personal opinion, I would recommend just going with the 4 in defense. Try to get that 1 extra point going while also maxing out your special defense at the same time. Just so that way you're making the most out of your 125 special defense. Because Milotic is mainly a specially defensive wall, but it can be run as a physical wall, and we're going to be covering that in a sec. But that being said, we have Scald, Ice Beam, Recover, and Toxic. Milotic is primarily a special attacker, but we may or may not be covering a physical Milotic in this episode. Depends on, Anyways, Scald is fantastic because it has that chance to burn. Going to be helping you out when it comes to your defensive stat, which is very, very good. That's why I personally would rather run Scald over Surf. But you could run it if you'd rather have the extra damage. But in my personal opinion, having that chance to burn is very, very good. Now we have the Ice Beam here because, of course, Dragons are a thing. Garchomp is a thing. Landorus is a thing. And Ice Beam is one of the best special moves that Milotic gets. So that's pretty nice. If you guys didn't know, Milotic does have a very, very shallow move pool. I didn't actually realize this until I was actually looking at it. But its move pool is not that diverse, which kind of stinks. But Milotic does make it work. So that being said, we have Toxic here, and we have a few other moves that you could swap out for Toxic. I figured Toxic was nice because of the residual damage, and it could come in handy there. But you could also run Aqua Ring if you wanted to, and, you don't usually see it that often, but I think Aqua Ring pairing with the Recover and the Leftovers would be very, very good. Obviously, Recover is there for the health recovery, very, very essential on a tank. But I was just thinking Recover plus Leftovers plus Aqua Ring. It does sound like a pretty powerful combo, so if you wanted to go with that, then you definitely could. Before we move on to the rest of these moves, I want to talk about the abilities. So starting off, we have Marvel Scale here, which is going to boost your defense by 1.5 times if you happen to get statused. So any Thunder Waves, or Toxics, or Scald Burns, then Marvel Scale is going to activate and make sure that you're not going to be taking as much damage from physical attacks. And pairing this with Scald is pretty OP in my opinion. It does help out that lack of defense, and it helps the defense stat kind of catch up to the special defense stat, which is super, super awesome. It does make Milotic a very, very good tank. But that being said, there's another ability here, and that ability is competitive. It's going to make it so that way if any of your stats are lowered, it's going to boost your special attack by 2. This is very, very good, especially for Pokemon like Landorus with Intimidate, because you can switch into Milotic on a Landorus, it'll get intimidated, and then you'll instantly get that +2, which is very, very good. That Scald and that Ice Beam is going to be a dead Landorus. So that being said, the reason why I wanted to cover the abilities before I talked about the other moves here is because of Refresh. Now, obviously, if you're going to run Marvel Scale, you want to be statused, which is why if you're going to run Marvel Scale, I do not recommend running Refresh with that. That really doesn't make much sense. If you're running Marvel Scale, you want to get statused, and you want to kind of boost your defense there. Now, when it comes to choosing an ability, I would not recommend Q-Charm, because it's just not the best ability. Competitive and Marvel Scale are definitely the way to go. But in my personal opinion, I think that Marvel Scale and Competitive can both work very well on this set. If you want more bulk, then go with Marvel Scale. But if you want more offense, then go with Competitive. And if you are running Competitive, then Refresh may not be that bad of a choice, because it does kind of prevent the Toxic and the, Thunder Waves and stuff. So if you wanted to run Refresh combined with the Competitive, it is all your choice there. Moving on to the other moves, Light Screen could be very good if you wanted to boost your special defense even more. Then you can definitely do that and also benefit your team as well. Then we have Protect to help Toxic stall, and it could also be good for stalling out the Leftovers as well. So that being said, you can switch these moves around however you want. I'd recommend Scald and of course Recover for your 2 staple moves. But if you wanted to swap out Ice Beam for Protect, or maybe Toxic for Aqua Ring. It is all your choice. But finally, for the nature, we have Calm. But if you wanted to run more of a defensive nature, then you could definitely do that. Go with the Bold nature. It is all your choice. Or if you want to run Modest, even, you can run Modest. Try and get a bit more out of your special attack. But that being said, let's move on to the next Milotic set. Alright guys, I have made a very fast and offensive Milotic here. Basically, you want to go with the max special attack, max speed, and 4 in HP. Go with the Choice Scarf. And the Choice Scarf is very, very key here because I figured out with the Choice Scarf and with the investment, Milotic actually becomes a very, very fast Pokemon, almost getting up into the tier of Mega Lopunny. It turns out that it can actually outspeed a Mega Lopunny without the positive speed nature. If the Lopunny is running Adamant, then it can definitely outspeed it, which is very, very good. So that's pretty fantastic. Milotic does put in a lot of work with the Scarf there, and I feared it was definitely a very viable option. So that being said, we have Scald, Ice Beam for the Dragons, and of course for the Water type coverage. Then we have Hidden Power Fire, and I figured I'd smack on Hidden Power Fire there just for, you know, Ferrothorns and Scizors and that type of coverage. You could smack on Hidden Power Rock if you wanted to for Talonflames or whatever, but it is all your choice. Then we have Dragon Pulse, and I kind of just put Dragon Pulse on there. It really is not the most ideal, seeing as Ice Beam does cover the Dragon types, and, you know, Dragon Pulse seems a bit, you know, a bit redundant, but sadly, Milotic doesn't get that many special attacks. You guys can see right here, if we type in special, we have Blizzard, but we already have Ice Beam. Dragon Pulse, we have all the hidden powers. You could run Hydro Pump, I guess, instead of Scald if you wanted to risk that. But in my personal opinion, I'd recommend Scald. So I would say Dragon Pulse is your best bet here. It could be useful for hitting neutral on some Pokemon that the other moves cannot touch. But yeah, moving on, we have Competitive. You can run Marvel Scale if you would like. But in my personal opinion, I'd recommend Competitive because if you get intimidated, or as I said, defogging or whatever, then yeah, your special attack is through the roof. You're going to be hitting like a truck and very speedy at the same time. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. You can go with Modest. I guess you could run Timid if you wanted to be a bit faster, but I'm just going to go with the Modest and rock out with that. So cue the next set. Oh man. Alright guys, this is going to be the one-off set for today. It's actually not that bad. It's not that bad because Milotic's physical move pool is not that bad. It does get some pretty nice physical moves, and there's something here. There is something here. So we're going to give this a shot. I figured I'd cover this set just because I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a very interesting Milotic, and I don't know, I think it's cool. I think it's really, really cool. So it's going to be a physically defensive and a physically offensive Milotic. You want to go max HP, try to make the most out of your bulk, and go max attack. Go with the Adamant nature and the 4 in defense. Basically, you want to be as bulky as possible and be as hard hitting as possible. So the thing that backs up this entire set is Coil. And Coil is a move that's going to raise your attack, defense, and accuracy. 3 stats at once, which is very, very good. It's going to be boosting the offensive capabilities of your Pokemon and also raising your defense at the same time, making the most out of that bulk. And, you know, I think this will definitely work. I think this set can definitely work out because on top of raising your attack and defense, which is already fantastic, it's also raising your accuracy, which is going to help the Aqua Tails hit, it's going to help the Dragon Tails hit, and potentially, it's also going to help the Iron Tails hit. So because you are using Coil, it allows you to use moves that have a bit lower accuracy, like Aqua Tail, Dragon Tail, and Iron Tail. Aqua Tail is great for the stab. It is better than Waterfall in this situation, just because of the fact that it has a bit more power, and of course Coil helps out that accuracy, so it's really not that big of a deal. You have Dragon Tail here to help switch out Pokemon that are setting up, and of course it does hit the Dragon types as well. Then we have Iron Tail for the Fairy types. Now Iron Tail has a bit less accuracy than Dragon Tail and Aqua Tail, so if you are concerned about that, then you can play it safe and go with the Iron Head. If I can type here, go with the Iron Head. There we go. So you're guaranteed to hit those moves, but if you wanted to take the risk, you can go with the Iron Tail there, and of course Coil will be helping out that accuracy. So that being said, we have the ability here, which is Marvel Scale. We're not a special attacker, so there's no reason to run competitive. You might as well go with the Marvel Scale, and if you happen to get status, then your defense is going to be boosted and you should be good to go. Then we have leftovers for just the health recovery. You could run Citrus or even Life Orb if you wanted to. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Pretty much this set in a nutshell. We do have some more physical moves though. We have Iron Tail, which I already talked about, And then I considered Facade. If you wanted to run Facade on this, then you could. Having that protection against the burn, it can double in power if you're burned, so it could be an option to consider. But that's pretty much all I had to cover about Milotic today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smash that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!